Hello and welcome back to Can We Survive the Moon? And of course, so far so good. We did our surviving, but now it's time to update our base. Let's get started. All right, so we did a little bit of a different thing today, and that was basically a time lapse of the base design or station design for our storage and our hydrogen plants. So, of course, you saw in the time lapses how it's all kind of built out. And we also try and attempted to build out the sorting grid here, which is a bit nuts. So basically did a kind of bit of a pattern here to get the most out of it. So we got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And if we do 3 layers of them, we get 30 sorting situations there. But we got to solve for the whole drain all situation so it can go in and out fairly easily for all this to kind of work. And it mimics basically this little situation here where, I mean, we could just do drain all down here, but the problem with the drain all is that there's no on-off drain all. There's only a toggle on-off drain all. So we gotta situate that in a little bit. Well, I guess we could do something with event controllers and stuff like that as well. Well, we'll figure it out eventually. But the main course of today's goal was to build out the storage containing station. And this is what I kind of came up with, which is, it looks a little bit funky, but it looks doable. It works okay. So I've never built out a station with these new blocks, the beam blocks here. They're not beams, but they are called truss. So we built that with something new over there. And we also did it with a bit of collectors on the side here as well. Something new to play around with in this case, just to see how that works. And I realized these piping, oh no, so that, yeah. And it was trying to make it so it ramps a little bit. So if you do drop anything, it'll just go right into the collectors. But technically, you didn't even have to do that. We just do it right over here, up close and personal, and just suck it right in. Is there a purpose of that? Nope, not at all. We did that just for the fun of it, and also so that we can utilize dumping stuff in there, although a port would be a lot easier, obviously. And then on the inside, we didn't do too much. We did do a little bit corner blocks right over there just to block it off. I was planning to put stairs and everything like that so we can get into these ports, but we'll just forgo all that for now because we spent a lot of time on the time lapse. So I hope you guys did enjoy that speed through of the build and design. This specific station does have 4 doors. So this is the front of it basically. It has this storage LCD right there. And then going back here is another doorway that has storage as well. And it's the same design basically. I think the most thing that I'm proud of is this, the LCD panel. Using a bit of a neon tube T-shape and attach it to these trusses to kind of get that design right there. So it sticks out pretty decently. And it doesn't stick out like this too much. Although we could probably figure something out for this instead to mimic that. But this is the power station here, which we still didn't even get the reactor all up and running. We're getting there. We're close. But yeah, so that's the back and front is mimic the same exact siding. But on the left and right of it, a little bit different. We put a little bit indent there with a bit of a window so you can kind of peep in if necessary. Not necessary at all. And then you have your doorway here. And it's tight, but works. And these are 4 specific cargo containers. Of course, we can add more of these like blocks to kind of fill it out a little better. So we could either use this one or this block like this, right? Just to fill out the corners to kind of hide the cargo containers a little bit if we want to go that route. But I mean, the inside is fine. We don't need too much designing on it. I mean, it's just basically storage. And then we open up from here is the other side of it. And of course, the plant, the hydrogen plant. This looked a lot better than this, but that's because we designed it so that it doesn't look very cube-like. So we pre-designed this beforehand, and that's why we were able to get a decent design out of it. The only problem I had was trying to get the LCD screen, but still made a basically an archway-ish like thing. Beam blocks and some panels unwelded so we could put the LCD screen to say hydrogen plant here. So yep, it looks kind of looks like a decent convention center type of design or car dealership. I don't know, that's what it just reminds me of. there's a bit of a slope action to lead to the top here. I left the ports here just for easy access. All this is windowed basically. And we have the 2 hydrogen tanks here, which we indented towards the inside of it just to have look decent that way instead of building up against it. Of course, it has the exhaust up here, which is not doing much, but for now. And of course, we're showing off the inside, which is the hydrogen tanks, which we have, what, 4 of them there? All connected. And we put a little bit of beam blocks up here just to kind of come with the same design as everything else. We had kind of sticking out a little bit. So that's pretty much that. And then put a little bit of an indent here. So inside, it's very, very tight, as you can see here. The hydrogen engines, you have the O2H2s, and then here's all the hydrogen tanks itself. So I put a doorway in the back. We could put doorways on the side here as well. We need to eventually. But yeah, it's the same station. It's just covered from the top, basically. We could put air vents on each one of these. We don't have to just yet, but we should do that eventually. But yeah, this is the hydrogen plant. Not even sure why I put a little dimple there, but made it look a decent design change. And this thing works out. I'm not sure if it's airtight or leak proof, but we will find out eventually. And then of course, back to the cargo container storage center. We did this design with the truss, and then towards the top, we did more with the truss as well. So these are the, I don't even know what they call these. These are the pillar diagonal truss. So I just did like a weird C shape or whatever that is, just to make it look less boxy or brick-like. I mean, it's basically a brick first, and then I designed around it and make it with different little random designs, and it works out okay. It's still not the best looking thing, and I used this new block as well, which is the wall corners, just to give that extra look to it. But yeah, more or less it looks okay, but not that great. I actually prefer this one, well, without this beams here probably, which looks pretty cool up front. And I mean, the design all kind of matches a little bit, especially with the power station and everything like that. And what else did I do was basically take all the panels and try to extend it out a little bit more. I think next we're going to update the house a little bit, so we can include like the medical center and things like that. So a much bigger like hab station-ish like thing. And of course we got to update our control center here. And what I was working on, it's been a while actually. It was working on putting a piston elevator style so we can go up. So right now it's just a hole with some steel plates or armor blocks that's connected right around here-ish. So we put the pillars down there or pistons down there and it'll raise it up. 2 pistons I thought would be enough, but it's actually not. So I had to do 3 pistons just to make it all the way up here. And of course I gotta get rid of all the stairs and everything like that as well. So those are some of the few things that we should be taking care of relatively soon. But I think more or less we're gonna take care of this whole sorting system for continuous building of different materials. So that can kind of wait. And I realize we also need a bunch of assemblers too. So we need to add a lot more to get this working the way we want it to work. And I guess actually, I'm gonna have to rethink this because honestly, if we had to build like so many assemblers anyways, wouldn't it be better to have it drain all the whitelisted materials into assembler, into another sorter? No, not even a sorter, cargo container, and then a sorter going outwards. So then that way, you're intaking what you need to build out of the assembler, and what comes out of the assembler won't go backwards, but can only go forwards. I think, that might be the better bet. So I might have to redesign this a little bit along with the assemblers. Just thinking about it now, it will cause less issues with this whole drain all where it's just cycling back and forth like it's doing now. So I think that should be the case. And again, that is basically sorter into an assembler for its ingots. And then from the assembler to create from those ingots will be like a steel plates or construction components, whatever the case may be. And then we let it fill up into a cargo container next to the assembler. And then we put a sorter on the outside so we can just take it from there. That sounds like the better idea than the way we have it, which is too free in terms of being able to grab it from anywhere. And the biggest problem is the whole drain all issue where it makes that loop. So we will have to situate that eventually. But pretty much today's episode was a time lapse. Instead of talking through the build, I just want to go ahead and just build it and then talk about it later right here. So hope you guys enjoyed this episode. If you did, please like and subscribe. Don't forget to comment down below, even to just say hi. And of course, I'll see you guys next time. Bye.